is Allan Rebelo. Most people call me Al. I'm from Tres Restaurant and Bight Restaurant down at the waterfront. And welcome to T-Bane Season August edition. Today, we're going to be making some tacos and some calabacitas. So we have pork shoulder from Sandy Acres Farm. We have Brule Creek oil. We have some beautiful Pattypans from Squash Queen. Terramore Gardens gave us some onions, some garlic, Heartbeat hot sauce, Walkabout feta, peppers from Pitch Creek Farm. Look at this thing, it's crazy. Pumped, it's gonna be great. So let's get rolling. This recipe will take about 2 days. First day, you're going to slice the pork, marinate it, put it in the fridge overnight, let those flavors build. Non-reactive container, super important. Day 2, we're gonna char-broil them, make the salsa, make the calabacitas, and put the tacos together. So let's get started. So now I'm gonna mince some green garlic from Terramore Gardens. Green garlic is much more fresh and sharp than a cured garlic. Now we're gonna rip up the ancho peppers and remove the seeds. So I'm gonna put the pan over medium-high heat. I'm gonna use canola oil from Brule Creek Farms. This stuff is awesome, super fragrant, very floral, great oil to use, high smoking point. We're gonna add the garlic, toast it until it gets a nice brown color. Then we'll add the spices. You need to be very careful when adding the spices. If you keep it too long, they'll burn instantly on you. We have the ancho chilies that are ripped. We're gonna add those in, toast it for a little bit longer. Add the pineapple juice, apple cider vinegar, and achiote paste. Bring it to a boil and then remove from the heat. While the marinade cools, we're gonna slice the pork shoulder. We're gonna slice them into about 1/4-inch slices against the grain. We wanna cut them against the grain so that when we slice the meat later for the tacos, it's a lot more tender. We're also gonna season the pork liberally, lots of salt on both sides. You do this now so you can gauge how much salt you wanna use on your pork. I like it more salty, you might not. Once the marinade is cool, transfer to a blender and we'll puree it until smooth. Now we're gonna take our pork shoulder that we sliced earlier from Sandy Acre Farms. We're gonna marinate it and leave it overnight in a non-reactive container in the fridge. With charcoal, you need to light it well in advance so that it gets nice and hot. You want the coals to get really bright white, and that's when you know it's ready for cooking. Be careful with the lighter fluid. If you add too much and you light it, well, you know what'll happen then. So next we're gonna work on the calabacitas. Squash actually originates in Mexico, so they use a lot of different types of squash in their cooking. Today we're gonna use these beautiful little Pattypan squash from the squash suite. We're just gonna cut the ends off, split them in half. We're gonna keep them whole. We really wanna showcase the Pattypans. We're also gonna slice this red onion and green garlic from Terramore Gardens nice and thin so that when we add them into the calabacitas, they blend nicely. And then we're gonna slice the 2 ounces of green garlic for the salsa as well. We're gonna take a skillet, put it over medium-high heat, and we're going to saute the Pattypans. We wanna achieve some really great color on these Pattypans now. If we add too much ingredients too early, we won't get that nice brown caramelization. So we're gonna put the Pattypans in the pan face down, cut down first, so that we can achieve that color, and then we'll continue to add the rest of the ingredients. Now we're gonna reduce the heat to medium. We're gonna add the onions and the garlic that we sliced earlier. Season with a pinch of salt to encourage the flavors to come out of the vegetables and soften them a little bit. Once the Pattypans are al dente and we've tossed it a few times, we're gonna add the cilantro and the lime juice, the chipotle, the cumin, and season further with a little salt and pepper, and then remove from the heat. These red onion tops are a great garnish. So let's slice it nice and thin, fire it on the Calabacitas, and really make it pop. Okay, let's plate these things. We're gonna place them gently on a large plate or platter, and then we're gonna top it with a little bit crumbled feta from Walkabout Farms. This stuff is great. It crumbles great. It's nice and salty, adds an awesome flavor. Calabacitas are great at room temperature. You can even eat them cold. So we're gonna let that chill. And now we're gonna work on the salsa ingredients. We're gonna cut them up and get them ready for the Char-Broil. We have these great Roma tomatoes from De Bruyn's. They're fantastic. I use them at the restaurant all the time. We're gonna cut them in half lengthwise so they hold together on the Char-Broil. Now we're gonna take this red onion from Terry Moore Gardens, cut them into 1-inch discs. So once again, they don't fall apart on the grill. We're gonna take the tomatoes, the onion, toss them together with the jalapeno and the sweet peppers with olive oil and a little salt so that we can put them on the charbroiler and get them nice and toasty. Charbroiler is nice and hot. Now we're gonna add the peppers, get a nice dark char around the whole entire pepper. We wanna be able to peel that skin off afterwards. The tomatoes, just until tender. We don't want them to turn into juice. We just want a little color, a little softness, and then we're ready to rock. Once the peppers come off the charbroiler, we need to wrap them in a bowl with some saran wrap so that they steam themselves so we can pull the skin off. While that's happening, we can medium dice the onion and Roma tomatoes. Super quick, doesn't have to be fancy. We're just putting it on tacos after. Toss the vegetables with a little bit of lime juice, some cilantro, and season with salt and pepper until you got it just right. All right, our pork shoulder's been marinating overnight. Lots of great flavor. Now we're gonna take it to the charbroiler and fire it up. When you're grilling your pork, you want your internal temperature of your barbecue to be about 300 degrees. 350 is fine too, but if it's too hot, you might burn the outside before you cook the inside. When you put the pork on the grill, you're gonna get that nice sear on the outside. Cover it so that the pork will cook on the inside as well. The pork only needs to be cooked to an internal temperature of 135 degrees Celsius. You can eat good pork medium, especially from a local farm. If you want to cook the pork longer on the charbroiler, that's totally fine too. Keep the lid on and it'll get more tender as the time goes on. Once both sides are sufficiently charred and the internal temperature has reached 135 degrees Celsius, remove, cover with tinfoil and let it rest for at least 5 to 10 minutes. Once the pork is rested, you want to slice into nice thin strips for that taco. Now we're going to build the tacos. We want to warm the tortillas lightly in a pan. Now we're going to fill it with the pork, the salsa. Let's finish the taco with a little crumbled feta from Walkabout Farms once again. We're gonna top it with a little heartbeat hot sauce. That stuff is the bomb. Mexican cuisine is all about family. So let's put this all on platters, serve it family style, have great conversation, and enjoy the company around you. Thanks for checking out what's in season in August. Go to tbainseason.ca to learn more. See you later.